Please come up to the bima and light a candle for Shabbat. Don't be shy. Even if you're shy, come on up and light a candle. Please come light a candle if you have not done so. Please come light a candle if you have not done so already. We'll begin in 3 minutes. Come light a candle, find a seat, get settled. We'll be starting in 1 minute. Please come light a candle, find a seat.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Super happy to be here tonight. Really love celebrating Shabbat with all y'all. It's been a minute since I've gotten to stand up here and be rabbinic intern Paige at the Bima, not in the religious school, not doing stuff with the youth, but for the most part I see a bunch of familiar faces in a bunch of different ways. Some are still students, even though they're youth at heart. Tonight is a typical Friday night. It's special because it's Shabbat, but other than that, we just get to pray together. So let's jump right into our Kabbalah aspect of Shabbat, our Psalms. On page...
We're on 636 with Yedid Nefesh. 636. Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachamam Meshochavtecha El Retzonecha Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Ayar Yishtachave El Muladarecha Ye'erav Lo Yedidutecha Minofet Suf Bechol Tam Hatur Nahe Yalalayra Ziv HaOlam Yairayra Nafshi Cholat Ahavatecha Simchat Olam Yalla lay ray 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 Yalla lay ray 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 Yalla lay ray 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 Yalla lay ray 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 Yalla lay ray 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 Yalla lay ray 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 ray
We go right into welcoming our Shabbos bride on page 138 with our Lecha Dodi. We do paragraphs 1, 2, 5, 9. It was a quiz. Remember, if you remember when I'm up here, I like to quiz you all to make sure you're paying attention each week. And in paragraph 9, we all stand and rise and face the door to welcome our Kabbalah bride in.
Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Rise and face back.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה, ובצוהלה תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכד אותי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
On page 142, we continue with Shalom Alechem.
שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We bring in the warmth of Shabbat now with our candle lighting. On page 128, I would like to invite Florence and family to come and light our Shabbat candles if you would like. And as they make their way up here, it is only right that you turn to your neighbors and wish them a Shabbat Shalom and share with them your favorite activity of rest. Shabbat blessing, the candle blessings can be found on 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu lehadlik ner V'tzivanu lehadlik ner V'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
We move on to page 146 for our Baruch Hu. For this blessing we rise. If you are able. (146)
Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
There's a story about Rabbi Akiva teaching Torah publicly, even when he had been forbidden to do it by the Romans. And a friend warned him, "Why risk your life?" And Rabbi Akiva answered with a parable. A fox once saw a fish swimming frantically in a river and asked, "Why are you so afraid?" "The nets," said the fish. "Come on to dry land with me," said the fox, "and you'll be safe." The fish replied, "If we are afraid in the water, the very place that gives us life, how much more afraid would we be on dry land?" For Rabbi Akiva, Torah was water for the soul. And tonight, before we recite the Shema, "Hear, O Israel," we remember that Judaism begins with listening. Listening deep enough that Torah is not just something we study, but something that sustains us. Please join us on 152 for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated as we continue with our Ve'ah Hafta on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
The Israelites sang the Mi Chamocha after crossing the sea. But one midrash teaches that not everyone crossed in confidence. Some stepped into the water terrified, some doubted, some looked backwards even while moving forwards. Freedom, it turns out, is rarely immediate. And that feels especially true in our world today. We carry fears, uncertainty, grief, and division. Yet the Mi Chamocha reminds us that Judaism is a tradition that still sings, even when the waters are only beginning to part. In this week's Torah portion, the Torah teaches about Shemitah, letting the land rest every 7th year. And it is an act of faith, trusting that there will still be enough. The song at the sea and the laws of Shemitah kind of teach that same lesson. Redemption begins when we believe that fear is not the only possible future. Please join us on page 158 for our Mi Chamocha.
Lai la lai lai la lai la lai, lai la lai lai la lai la lai, lai la lai lai la lai la lai, lai la lai lai la lai la lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef elei, alai la lai lai la lai la lai, lai la lai lai la lai la lai, lai la lai lai la lai la lai. Malchutcha chauvanecha bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, zeli anu ve'amru אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. לילה לילה יאללה לילה 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 יאללה לילה לילה מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלי 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 אלי
Now can you hear me? Oh, I didn't know that tune. I don't think I've ever heard that version of
Really?
Aloha before, but
Oh.
it's really helpful, with a bunch of Jewish prayers, is that you start off with saying, "Lai la lai," and then I picked up the tune, and then I was able to do it. But I don't think I've
That's
ever
the power
heard that
of a nigun, yeah,
before.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to continue on with our Shabbat blessings with Vishamru on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Our next prayer is our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. It is that moment where I still like to call it that umph, even though I have not yet defined it, but that umph of a prayer, whatever that umph might be, that you may give to someone else this week, whether it's strength, whether it's healing, whether it's courage, whether it's something to just bring you into the next week, a moment, a prayer, a special saying. So tonight at Kol Tikva, we are thinking of those that need a Misha Berach, that umph, as Jason Abi, Sarah Gabrielle Bashaya, Leo Birnbaum, Janet Blake, Ellen Chris, Richard Cohn, Hannah Duveen, Susie Ehrenberg, Shari Geller, Brian Gleason, Mark Goff, Hilla Malka Hartenstein, Nancy Cantor, Bob Klein, Kitty Koster, David Kramer, Colleen Larson, Jan Laxer, David Avraham Gershon Ben Leah, Steve Lincoln, Laura Mitchell, Neil Mitchell, Joshua Marconi, Consuelo Pesante, Debbie Powell, Howard Ryder, Pat Reiner, Brian Rose, Judy Rose, Paula Rosenthal, Gustav Roel, Fred Rootberg, Patrick Sims, Fred Solomon, Marta Sonderman, Jeff Stickler, Wendy Tipp, Leah Trachtman, Sharon Vanderslice, Susan Vidal, Arabella White, Lori Wolvek, Miriam Slavskaya. If there's anyone else in our congregation that you know needs a special oomph, please share as my hand goes around the room. Thank you all. We're going to say our Misha Barak prayer on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, may bless and heal those who are all in need of that special prayer. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health and to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. Together we say our Misha Berach.
משברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. משברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
A student once asked a rabbi, why is the Amidah called the standing prayer? And the rabbi, in his rabbinic wisdom, goes, because for a few minutes we stand exactly as we are. No titles, accomplishments, or pretending. The Amidah takes away the distractions and reminds us that every human being stands equally before God. And so tonight, as we stand and rise for our Amidah on page 164, let us also think as we are one and equal in this room and in this world.
Adonai sefati tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may continue silently until page 180.
When you're done with your silent prayer, you may be seated. וזמרת ים ויהי לי לישועה עוזי וזמרת ים ויהי וזמרת ים ויהי לי לישועה וזמרת ים ויהי לי ישועה עוזי וזמרת ים ויהי לי ישועה.
When I was reading the Torah portions, you heard me right, portions, for the week, I was thinking about the strange, complex idea of time. So, our Torah portion this week is actually a double portion. We have Bachar Bechu, oh my goodness, I almost messed it up. Bechu Kotai. Go ahead, you can all try to say it perfect the first time too. But the idea is that every 7 years, the land must rest. What does that mean? There's no planting, there's no harvesting in the usual way, there's no treating the earth like a machine for productivity. And then after 7 cycles of this 7 years, there is something called the Jubilee year, where the land returns back to original owners, debts are released, and society resets itself. Wild idea. The Torah really understands this as something really human. When we forget how to pause, we begin believing we own everything. Work owns us. Our schedules start to own us. Anxiety owns us. Possessions begin to define us. But the Torah insists that the land belongs to God. Time belongs to God. And ultimately, we don't belong to the marketplace, but we belong to holiness. I don't know, that message really feels really relevant right now as I go through finals, as I go through packing, as I try to see all my friends before they become ordained. I just am moving. So tonight feels like a great respite. We live in this culture that rewards that constant productivity. The question people ask is often, what do you do? Not, who are you? Many of us move through the week exhausted, overstimulated, and unable to rest even when we finally stop working. Go ahead, give a raise of hand if that's you. If I'm describing you right now, there's definitely more. I know some of you are lying. We carry our jobs in our pockets. Notifications follow us everywhere. And even moments of silence gets filled instantly. And then when that Shabbat comes, that Shabbat arrives and asks us to practice something countercultural to stop, what do we do? I don't know. But I don't know because I'm done with everything. Nothing gets finished, but everything is finished. Counter statement. You think about that. We are more than what we produce. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel famously called Shabbat a palace in time. Judaism does not build holiness primarily in space, with cathedrals, monuments, palaces. We build holiness in time. Every Friday night, Judaism asks, what if rest is not laziness? What if rest is sacred? What if stopping is not weakness but trust? And how many of you are listening to me and thinking, no, you're totally not right? And that's really the heart of what Behar is, that first Torah portion. The Shemitah year, this is that 7th year, requires enormous faith. Imagine being an ancient farmer and being told not to plant for an entire year. Whose instinct was to scream, "What if there isn't enough?" Mine was. And so what if that question rolls over to today? What if I stop striving? What if I fall behind? What if I'm not enough? The Torah answers not with certainty, but with rhythm. Work and rest, build and release, plant and pause. A healthy life, according to Judaism, is not endless motion. And in Bechu Kotai, continues that message by reminding us that blessings emerge when society is built on covenantal responsibility. When people care for one another, protect the vulnerable, and live with ethical purpose. The Torah's vision is not simply personal spirituality, but communal dignity. A society where no one is trapped forever in debt, where the land itself gets to breathe, where human worth is not permanent poverty, or permanent wealth. In other words, the Torah imagines freedom not just for individuals, but for communities. And maybe that's why these portions arrive right before Shavuot every year. Before receiving Torah, we are reminded that holiness is not only found in dramatic revelation at Sinai. It is found in how we treat workers, land, neighbors, time, and ourselves. So tonight, as we envelop ourselves in Shabbat, perhaps the holiest thing we can do is resist the pressure to constantly prove our worth, to sit at a table, to sing, to pray, to rest, and to remember that before we are productive people, successful people, or busy people, we are souls. Shabbat Shalom. Now, I would like to invite Pam Marshall for some announcements. Use the ramp. That's the first announcement. Always use the ramp.
Thank you. So the first announcement, in case you didn't hear me, Florence is here. This is so awesome. It's so good to have you here. So good to see you. So awesome. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Kol Tikva. Thank you to our rabbinic intern, Paige. We don't call her a rabbi, we call her a rabbaby. And to our cantorial soloist, Joel Stein, for the wonderful music. And of course, thanks to James in the back. And if we clap really hard, maybe Clifford and Clayton and all the guys will hear us, because they do an awesome job of keeping us safe. Anyhow, I want to make some announcements. We have a lot of events happening. There's something for everyone. Tuesday, May 19th, we are doing Shavuot. I understand there's an argument going on, Blintz's Pizza. I'm not going to be here, but I'm voting for Blintz's. Anyhow, please join us. You will have a dairy-filled dinner, a reading of the Ten Commandments, all the way through all the books of the Torah. And if you look at your Shalom sheet, there's a QR code you can use to RSVP. If you're like my mom and need instructions, you use your camera. Don't take a picture, but hit that little thing that shows up, and it will then take you to a website. So if you need a little guidance, or otherwise just call the office. And then also on Wednesday, May 27th, we will be presenting the new slate of officers for 26-27. We will get updates about our budget, and it is the congregational meeting. Again, I won't be here. Great news, I'm going off the board. So I will not be on the slate. But anyhow, please join us on Wednesday, May 27th. Wine and cheese starts at 6. And then they're going to get you real good and drunk with the wine. Then they'll tell you about the budget. And then they'll let you vote. So anyhow, be sure to show up. We definitely need a a majority of members, a quorum. It was more than a minion, but a quorum. Friday, June 12th is our Tish and Volunteer Recognition Shabbat. Please be here, join us for services and a traditional Shabbat Tish dinner filled with stories, songs, music, friendship. Sign-ups will be coming soon. Save the date for the fun and kooky drag queen bingo, which will be here on Saturday evening, June 27th. More information will be coming on that as well. And then most importantly, especially for you Renaissance people, you know who you are. This Tuesday, you're having a lively lunch. I will not be attending it, but I do know that my wife, Chris Wilson, will be your guest speaker, telling you how she became Jewish and found out that she always was. It'll be a good story. I've heard it repeatedly. Good story. I won't be here. Anyhow, lots of exciting things happen. Watch for our weekly emails. Tonight, Tzedakah will be going to the West Valley Food Pantry. When you give to Tzedakah, think about the sermon that rabbinic intern Paige just gave of, there's poor people out there and they need our help. So please help them. There's a lot of food insecurity in this country. And right here in our own valley, right here in Woodland Hills, where I don't actually live, but I do support it. Anyhow, join us after service for an oneg in the social hall. It says here, please be safe and vigilant, and I'm also going to add kind. Kindness goes a long way. Let that other driver in, wave at the stranger, smile at the kid on the sidewalk, be kind. And remember to take care of yourselves and each other. Shabbat Shalom.
We come to the final blessings of our Shabbat service, and we get to our mourner's Kaddish, where we think about those that have recently departed. We are counting the Omer first. So we count the Omer. Who knows why we count the Omer? I know why we count the Omer, but I want to know, anyone knows why we count the Omer? With Homer. It's on the back of your Shalom sheet. So we count the Omer as a build-up to Shavuot. There's 49 days in between Passover and Shavuot. So you do know this, so you're feeding it to me. I know this. I'm in rabbinical school. And so every single day, we count how many days we've already counted. And during the time of the Omer, there are certain restrictions we're not supposed to do, but I'm not going to list them all. I do know of some of them, but it doesn't really matter. So we're going to count the Omer. It does matter, but it doesn't matter. Don't quote me. So we're going to count the Omer. Canto Ariel Solo Joel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'tzvotav v'tzivanu ad tzfirat haomer.
And today is the 37th day, making 5 weeks and 2 days of the Omer, with Hayom Shiva u'shloshim yom shehem hamisha shavuot u'shnei yamim la'omer. Together we all say, Amen. And now we think of those that have recently departed. Within our community, we are thinking this week of Marv Schenken, remembered by the Schenken family. Shirley Frankel Fields, remembered by the Mullen, Fields, Frankel, Cochran, and Hankinson families. Nurit Bat Tsirtsa, remembered by the Sinai, Hanish, and Friedman families. We also hold in our prayers our Yartzites, Mark Axelrod, Esty Alaclay, Shelley Blum, Louis Irving Cohen, Sharon Davis, Annette Diamond, Simon Glick, Mel Goodman, Melvin Goodman, Mary Greenberg, Gus Hermes, Lois Hoffing, Esther Ikowitz, Alan Kipnis, Edith Augusta Landler, George Landler, Erin Ames, Larry Latt, Arcade Leapback, Corey Victor Margolis, Jerry Matta, Lee Mazur, William Mincer, Albert Pass, David Powells, Blanche Rosen, Benjamin Rosenfield, Thea Schuber, Howard Joseph Schwartz, Esther Shoup, Richard Shaw, Erwin Winehouse, Esther Wiseman, Eva Wadowski. I have the wrong list. It's okay, it happens. We think of those family members and those friends, and we're also going to think of the yard sites for this week, too. It happens. Marv, I'm going to start again to give those that have passed the right honor that they deserve. Marv Shankin, remembered by the Shankin family. Shirley Frankel Fields, remembered by the Mullen, Fields, Frankel, Cochran, and Hankinson families. Our yard sites this evening are Erwin Ames, Buna Avles, Hal Batman, Rose Bestback, Mark Binder, Maria Burrell, Betty Cohen, Sophie Cohen, Ira Cook, Alvin Cowan, Bertha Eisenberg Oline, Louis Furman, Henriette Goldsmith, Sharon Goldstein, Margita Greiner, Sylvia Jacoby, Ernest Krieger, Samuel Lewis, Vic Martyr, Betty Maher, Leo Nussbaum, Alan Ruchman, Esther Rosen, Alex Schatz, Sarah Katie Soror, Barney Shane, Lou Simon, Libby Singman, Herman Auschler Stern, Dorothy Saran, Leo Van Deddy, and Perry Walkoff. If there is a name around that we did not say tonight, and you have someone on your hearts or on your mind, please share as I go around the room. Those who are observing a Shiva the first 7 days, please rise. Those who are observing a Shloshim the first 30 days, please rise. Those who are in their first year of mourning, please rise. And those observing a yard site, please rise. And as a community, if you are able to, please rise as we say our Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'almad divrach chiruteh v'amlich malhuteh, v'chayachon uvyomechon ufhaye dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru, Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei de kudushab, le'elah min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nehamata, damin ra be'almal v'imru, yehe shlama rabba min shamayim, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, Zikronam livracha, may their blessings be for a memory. You may be seated, and we stand for our Oseh Shalom. We put our arms around our community members, and we stand as one.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom Israel, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Shabbat Shalom, if I haven't said it enough. And now we do our Kiddush and our Hamotzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Let's all come close for Hamotzi.
I used most of the ram. We touch someone who's touching the challah. You can go as many touching as you want. I didn't say that. That's an HR claim. No. I'm here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Please enjoy your challah.
Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat.
That was so cute, all three of you being standing
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.